Here we are in Blackpool, away from the Winter Gardens, and we've got yours, Colin Lloyd. Colin, first of all, first impressions of round one of the tournament. What have you made of it?
Oh, it's been absolutely brilliant, isn't it? I mean, there's been some players that are sort of like, I think they've found the pinch a little bit, Phil, in my eyes, that they know they had big money to defend. But then Jan van Veen looked fantastic. Vessel Nyman threw some really good stuff. Luke Littler, I mean, just a superb performance. You know, I think he's been the outstanding one of the first round that made it look easy. But also another player that caught my eye that's been around longer than I have these days, Wadey. Wadey looked good. He looked really good. He looked solid. He looked in control of his emotions. You know, he just looked really solid up there. And, you know, if he can keep that sort of form going, Phil, he might take some stopping, because we know with Wadey sometimes he's sort of like, he can go up and down, can't he? But if he's 104, I think it's his highest average here, Phil.
Highest ever
104, yeah.
Match, but yeah.
Yeah, so listen, I think it's been great so far. We've had some shocks, haven't we? You know, the world number one, Luke Humphries going out, you know. Listen, I think you're probably going to ask me about it anyway, so I'm just going to tell you about it. I don't think Luke should worry about it too much. He didn't throw badly. Jan just threw really well. He threw really well. And the nice thing about it is with Luke, he would have known that he had a tough game. It was a tough opener for him. And unfortunately, he was packing his bags. And he joins a very elite club of which I'm part of. So, there you go.
Well, on Jan, look, we've been saying for a while that this kid is special. And he went up. He had a little blip, but he's come back even stronger. Yeah. Could this be the start of an absolute glittering career at the highest level? We've seen him dominate at other levels, but going to that next level.
Yeah, I think you're right there, Phil. I think he admitted it himself, didn't he? That he said other years he might have crumbled. I think he's realised now that he is good enough. And that's the main thing, Phil. If he knows that he's good enough, or he thinks that he's good enough, and he starts getting that positive thinking in his own head, there's nothing to stop him. Because like you just rightly said, we've seen the talent. We know what he's capable of. And, you know, as much as we're loving the Luke battles that we've been treated to over the past year to 18 months, 2 years, near on, whatever, Jan could be part of that. Vessel Nyman could be part of that. You know, there's so many good players out there now, Phil, isn't there? But, I think Jan's a really good player. And who's to say that his name's not on the trophy at the end of the week, Phil? And, listen, who's to say it won't be, because he's such a good player. And him winning that game the way he did, the way he kept his emotions in check, the way he got over the line, that will give him huge belief to say, well, yeah, I can win one of these. I can win a big one. I know I can. I've just been a world champion, the world number one, the defending champion. If I can do that with him and keep everything in order, I can do it with everybody else.
Seems to be a changing of the guard at the moment, in terms of not just one or two. I'm talking about that young, old, the household names that we're used to. It's almost these young guns going, out of the way. You're yesterday's news. In a nice way, I mean this, but you're yesterday's news. We're coming in.
As I used to say, Phil, get out of the way, old man. You've had your day. And listen, that's what keeps the sport progressive, Phil. That keeps the sport progressive. You have to have that. And I'm not going to mention names. I think you possibly will at one point. But no, I will say, I mean, the likes of the glittering careers of... and I'm not by any means, Phil, saying that these guys are done and dusted. The likes of, say, Peter Wright. You know, Peter Wright's taking an early bath again.
Barney.
But Barney's had more comebacks than Sugar Ray Leonard. So, you know... but it is a surpassing of the guard. It's not a dishonourable thing.
No.
A 5 times world champion, a World Cup champion in Peter Wright and whatever. You know, the things that those two guys have won, I wouldn't have minded having half of the stuff that they've got on my sheet. And like I say, Phil, it's not a disrespectful thing. It's just a case of, guys, you've been around a very, very long time. And like I say, it's not a case of me saying that they're done. There's still probably a big win somewhere inside of them, and they've got that mentality of, oh, I can still do it. You've got these young, fresh players coming through now, Phil, that they want a slice of the pie, but the slice of the pie now is getting like that.
Yeah.
You know, they want chunks. They want chunks of the pie. They don't want a slither anymore. And me personally, Phil, looking in, I think it's great. that's what keeps the sport that I've been very thankful to be part of, and that I love. And I love watching, and I love looking in and seeing all the different things that still go on. That's what keeps it going, and that's what keeps it turning over and over and over. And I think it's great for darts.
From a fan's point of view here, could this be, or do you think this is the last time that Barney and Peter may be at the Winter Gardens? Like you say, those performances are still there, but they're few and far between. They still get it right every now and then, but to qualify for things like this, you have to get it right all the time. So are you fearful that we may not see those two greats on that stage again?
Well, not only those two, I mean, you know, you look at someone like Michael Smith. Who would have thought Michael Smith wouldn't have got here? You know, a great player, a great champion. There was a few people, Phil, I was in there last night chatting away with the fans and doing some autographs and photos and all that sort of thing, you know. And I said, you know me well enough, Phil. I said, listen, thanks very much, have a great evening. I hope you enjoy your evening, enjoy your week, whatever you're doing, you know. They go, oh, we just couldn't miss tonight, Colin. I said, well, why is that? They went, well, I just don't think you're ever going to see, like, MVG compete against Barney again. You know, we think this is the last time. I said, well, you know, you're possibly right. But like you say, Phil, it's getting harder and harder. And I don't mean this disrespect, it's just a fact of life. Those guys they're not youngsters anymore. And sometimes your brain still tells you that you're going to do this and you're going to do that. Unfortunately, the body doesn't allow it. The body starts breaking down. I'm fitter than ever now, Phil. I'm at my fittest ever. My brain still tells me that I can do 12 and 13 dart legs consistently. The body says otherwise. And, you know, you just lose that, you know, your eyes deteriorate, your muscles deteriorate, and you're just not that player anymore. It's going to be a shame to see them go, because they are legends of the game. You know, they've helped push the game along over the years, over the last 20, 30 years. But listen, we all at one point have to make way for the newer generation coming through, and which we've got one of them here today with us.
I want to talk to you about Dave Chisnell, because obviously you were at the top, and when that slide starts, it's hard to stop. As you found out, I remember you talking really I remember you talking really honestly about it, where you said, I'm trying everything, but I just can't find a way to stop it. And I look at Dave's results over the last year. He's gone from averaging big hundreds on the Euro Tour and the Pro Tour every game. We know his TV form was in and out, but those bread and butter Euro Tours and Pro Tours, he'd eat them for fun. Where now, those averages aren't there anymore. And this is almost a year cycle now. Are you worried for Dave, and how does he try and put that slide right? Because a year slide is a long time in darts.
In some ways, Phil, you can't put it right. The inevitable is happening. It's just a matter of how you try to slow up that process. You think you're just having a blip. Yeah? You're not. It's as simple as that. You're not. And I'm saying that you're not. Dave might prove me wrong, but it creeps. It doesn't just go like that. It creeps. And you don't worry about it, Phil, because you don't really notice it that much. You think, I'm still getting a good free results, don't matter, the odd 100 here. But then there's a lot more often 87, 91, 84. And you think to yourself, where's that come from? It's happening. It's happening. Can Dave stop it? I don't know, only Dave can tell you that. It's a very, very tough process. It's tough to process not only physically, but the physical aspect of it all, Phil, with throwing the darts. It's here. And you know it's happening. You may sort of like switch it around to the back of your mind, but it's still in your back of your mind. It's still there. And you start looking, if you look at Raymond last night, he starts shaking his head at 1-1. And you think to yourself, what are you shaking your head for? It's only 1-1. You know, Michael will have to reel off 9 legs on the trot, and then the game's over. But then Michael started missing a few doubles. And all of a sudden Barney went from going like that, he all of a sudden went, because he saw opportunities. But sometimes then, Phil, you start getting the opportunities, and they still don't go in. And all of a sudden you go like that again. You can't do that on TV anymore, mate. There's too many good players around. There's too many good players qualifying for these big TV events now. There's just too many good players in general. There's someone ready to step into your shoes, and like I say, they've got respect for you. You know, the guys always have respect for me. I still get respect now. But I'm done now. I'm an exhibition player. I just have fun. I enjoy myself. I want people to have a laugh and a joke with me anymore. Some of these players have got to have a serious look at themselves and think, am I good enough for majors anymore? Or do they just want to go through the motions of, well, I've qualified for another major. If I get beat first or second round, so be it. No, that weren't me. That weren't me, and that's not Peter, and that's not Raymond. They're there to compete and to win. But unfortunately now, mate, those sort of results are getting fewer and far between.
Last night it got a bit spicy in the Winter Gardens. Daryl Gurney and Gerwyn Price have history. We saw them do it at the Premier League in 2019 as well. What was your take on last night?
Oh, Joe, I was watching it and I was enjoying it, and I thought there was a nice bit of mutual respect there. They gave each other a big hug at the beginning. But then it just all got a little bit cranky, I think. I don't know, maybe me looking in, I sort of thought to myself, Gezi took a big lead. Then Daryl started chipping away at him. Now, as to whether that started affecting I know, listen, there's always of course there is. But listen, when the match is over, just shake your hand. If you've won, just go, cheers, mate. And you can have the biggest smile on your face, whatever, biggest grin, whatever. I'm not sure what happened, nor is it any of my business what happened. I'm sure it's been dealt with and sorted out. Might have even been a phone call between the two of them this morning. Might have sorted it out last night behind the scenes. It's good for the game though, Phil, isn't it? Keeps it exciting.
That was my next point. That for ages people have been saying we don't want robots, we want characters, we want people to be themselves. Now, even this morning, no one is talking about the 4 games last night, as in the results. Everyone is talking about that incident. It is everywhere. That incident's put darts all over the place. So things like that, we see it in every other sport. Do you believe it's good?
It's good in one way, but it's negative in another. It's good in one way because it's sort of, you get a little bit of a response from the crowd and whatever. It's not good for the players because I dare say that the pair of them might receive a letter. Because it's sort of like, in some ways it is, you don't want to see that sort of thing happen on the stage. Like we said, Phil, you've got adults all in there, of course, but there's kids as well, and then you might get the kids turn around to the parents and say, why do they look like they're going to fight on the telly? That's not what darts is about. If there was a bit of a difference and whatever, go around the back, then no one's around, and have a not tear up, but have it out at the back without prying eyes. There's an area around the back from the stage that's for the players only. You can even have a heated discussion, Phil. So, yes, it is good, but it's excitement. It's something for people to talk about. I'm probably sitting on the fence a little bit here, Phil, but I just don't want to see me looking in. I don't want to get the players. I don't want to see the players get punished unnecessarily. Great entertainment. The game was great entertainment. It was brilliant. It was backwards and forwards, loads of 180s, loads of good finishes, and just that little bit of shenanigans at the end. But listen, like you say, Phil, the game's got to have characters. You can't just go, thank you, and walk off. I mean, perhaps I was one of those sort of people, Phil. I don't know.
Well, I was about to ask that back in your heyday, if your opponent had mocked your celebration, would you have copped the ump?
I'd have probably said something, I wouldn't have been able to help myself, but I don't know. I just tended to shake their hand, laugh about it a little bit, and then there'd probably be a few obscenities behind the scenes, Phil, But like you say, it's good for you have to have something. You can't just go up there, throw, wave at everyone and walk off. There has to be something. I like that Daryl, as well as Gezi, that they show emotion. I like it that all players show emotion because I think it is good for the game. It fires you up. The fans want to see it. They want to see you fired up. They want to see it not roll over.
I'm with you.
Like a little dog roll over and get your belly tickled, They want to see some fireworks, want to see some antics. And the thing with Gezi, I don't think Gezi does it in a spiteful way. It fires him up. He does what works for him. He does what's beneficial for Gezi Price. I've got no problem with that. No problem whatsoever. And if you're an opponent of Gezi's, if you get sucked in, drawn in, whatever to it, Phil, that's your doing. No one else. I'm not saying Daryl did, or I'm not saying Gezi did like that. But if you get drawn into another player's antics, that's your fault because you're focusing on what they're doing, and you're not focusing on yourself. You're not focusing on your own game. But listen, look at me. I'm a bit of a philosopher now.
I'm liking this, Lloydie. I'm liking this.
I never used to be like that. I always had fire in my belly, and like going round, Phil, like you say about with the likes of Peter and Raymond and whatever. You know, that fire in your belly, it does start dimming. As much as you try stoking it up, it does start dimming. But I probably got a little bit crankier as I got towards the end of my career, because I think I've said it to you before, Phil. I used the word, something I found so easy just become so difficult. Yeah. And that's when I knew. You know. But I probably did get a little bit cranky then. I probably did receive a few more holiday club fines, but I still think it's good that you got to have something. You got to have a bit of spice to the game, because that's what keeps the crowd coming back.
Lloydie, pleasure catching up with you here in Blackpool, mate. I know you've got to get on with your exhibition minutes. We'll let you go and have a chat. Thank you very much, as always, buddy.
Best, mate. Thanks very much. Cheers, buddy. Thank you.
To change your